Hey everyone, welcome back to Outside the Ring. I've been blown away by the support this week. Shout out to my 5 listeners on Spotify and my new followers on Apple and Threads. You're joining us at a chaotic time. The roster is banged up, the brackets are shifting, and today we're looking at the injuries that are changing the landscape of WrestleMania 42. I'm Cricket Fox, and this is the state of the ring.
Okay, so let's unpack this. It is February 15th, 2026. If you're a wrestling fan, or, even if you just follow the entertainment calendar, you know exactly what that means.
Oh, yeah.
We are deep in the trenches of WrestleMania season.
Sign is pointing. The stadium's getting prepped.
The hype machine is running at, full capacity. It's supposed to be the most exciting, the most electric time of the year.
It's marketed as the showcase of the immortals, right?
Yeah.
But if you really look at the reality of the locker room, it feels a lot more mortal than immortal right now.
That is the tension we're looking at today. We all know professional wrestling is scripted.
Right, the outcomes are predetermined.
The feuds are all mapped out in a writer's room, but the physical toll, the gravity of it?
That is undeniably, painfully real. And right now, it feels like half the roster is sitting on a doctor's table instead of in the ring.
It's a crisis of attrition.
It is. An injury in this industry isn't just, a medical event. It's a creative catastrophe.
Yeah.
It throws a wrench into months and months of planning.
You've got writers who've mapped out these huge story arcs leading specifically to WrestleMania 42.
And then, suddenly, one bad landing, one awkward fall, and the entire landscape just changes. They have to pivot on a dime.
So what does this all mean for the road to WrestleMania? Well, to figure it out, we're digging into a stack of notes from outside the ring.
This is from Cricket Fox.
And if you follow the scene, you know Cricket. She's the host of the Sock Sorority podcast. She runs the Fox Den Sports blog.
And she's got Corner Coffee with Cricket. She is, let's just say, plugged in.
Very plugged in. Cricket has this reputation for cutting through all the dirt sheet noise.
She does. She doesn't just list who's hurt. She contextualizes it. She looks at what these absences actually mean for the product we see on TV.
And the list she's compiled.
Yeah.
Wow. It's extensive.
Okay.
So here's the plan for this deep dive. We're going to start with some updates on stars who have actually left the WWE ecosystem entirely and are finding some serious success elsewhere. Then we have to get a little more serious and look at a pretty heavy list of confirmed surgeries and retirements.
Yeah, the tough stuff.
And finally, we're going to look at the question marks. The major names whose status for WrestleMania 42 is, hanging by a thread.
It's a sobering list, for sure. But if you want to understand why the shows look the way they do right now, you have to understand who's missing.
Let's start with the people who have stepped outside of that New York bubble, life outside WWE.
Yeah.
There's this, lingering narrative that if you leave the big company, you just vanish.
That's a very 2010 mentality, you know. The landscape has completely changed. Now, leaving the machine often lets talent reinvent themselves.
Or rediscover who they were before they got there.
Exactly.
Case in point, Alina Black. Fans will remember her as Cora Jade in WWE.
For sure. She was a staple of NXT, had a run on the main roster.
But she's gone back to her roots, rebranded back to Alina Black. And according to Cricket, she is making legitimate moves.
The rebranding is significant. But look at the timeline. She actually took a 6-month hiatus from wrestling.
Yeah.
From everything. In late 2025.
Just stepped away to focus on herself.
In an industry where visibility is everything, disappearing for half a year, that is a massive gamble.
It looks like a gamble that really paid off, though. She signed a 1-year deal with TNA Wrestling just this past January.
Which is a smart, strategic play. TNA has stabilized, and they have a platform that focuses heavily on the in-ring product.
And she didn't just, quietly join the roster. She made a surprise debut on the Impact premiere on AMC.
January 15th. That's prime real estate.
And here's the update from just last week. She secured her first win as a TNA knockout.
And see, that win is the validation. It's one thing to debut and get a pop from the crowd. It's another thing to get your hand raised.
It tells the audience.
It tells them, I'm here to compete, I'm healthy, and I'm a threat. It solidifies that transition from former WWE superstar to current TNA star.
Speaking of threats, let's talk about Shotzi, or Shotzi Blackheart, as she's known now.
Shotzi is such a unique case because her style is so high risk. I mean, she throws her body around like she has affordable health care, which...
Not a guarantee on the indies.
Not at all.
She really has been tearing it up, though. Cricket calls her a powerhouse right now. And if you needed proof, she just picked up some serious hardware.
She's working with Major League Wrestling MLW, which has a very different vibe. It's gritty. It's presented more like a combat sport.
And on February 7th in Chicago, she won the MLW World Women's Featherweight Championship.
See, that tells me she hasn't lost a step.
Yeah.
MLW's featherweight division is fast. It's technical. For Shotzi to go in there and win the title, it proves she can adapt. She isn't just doing the sports entertainment style anymore. She's working this like hybrid, hard-hitting style.
And she's not slowing down. She's packing her bags for the UK. February 20th, she's in a tournament for Progress Wrestling.
Progress is legendary in the British strong style scene. The crowds are intimate, they're loud, and they expect violence.
So the fact that she's hopping from a title win in Chicago to a grueling tournament in London,
it just shows her drive. She is hustling harder now than she ever did in the big leagues.
So the big takeaway here is that careers don't just end when you hand in your badge at the biggest company.
Not at all. Sometimes leaving the machine lets you flourish because you control your own creative destiny. You aren't waiting for a writer to hand you a script.
You're writing it yourself in the ring.
Exactly.
I love that perspective. It's really empowering. But, okay, this is where we have to shift gears. We have to talk about the physical cost of this business. Because for some people, the script just ends, whether they want it to or not.
This is the part of the report that's always tough to read. The medical disqualification list.
Cricket's notes have a section I'm calling the heartbreakers. These aren't just sprained ankles or torn pecs. These are life-altering.
Yeah.
And we have to start with Big E.
We've been waiting on this news for a long, long time. There was always that glimmer of hope.
The update is definitive. Big E has officially retired.
It hits hard. I mean, Big E was the soul of the New Day. He was a WWE champion. But when you're dealing with the neck, specifically the C1 and C6 vertebrae, there's just no margin for error.
We're not talking about can he wrestle again.
No, we're talking about can he hold his children. That's the real question.
That's the reality check. Big E stepping away is a massive loss for the industry in terms of talent, charisma, but hearing it officially, it just stings.
It reminds you, these people are superheroes until suddenly they're not.
It's the smart call.
Oh, 100% the smart call. But it closes the book on one of the most entertaining trios in history. The New Day will continue, but it's never going to be the same.
And sadly, he's not the only one dealing with severe neck and spinal issues. The update on Piper Niven is, well, it's alarming.
Alarming is putting it mildly.
Cricket notes she's out for the foreseeable future, but it was this one specific detail that got me. It says she can currently only stand for a few minutes at a time.
That is terrifying. Just process that for a second. A world-class athlete who, right now, struggles to stand up for the length of a commercial break.
It puts everything in perspective, doesn't it? We get upset when a storyline gets dropped or a match gets cut for time.
But these athletes are putting their long-term mobility on the line every single night. It's the cumulative effect. It's rarely one move. It's 1,000 bumps over a decade.
When you hear stand for a few minutes, you realize this isn't about WrestleMania anymore.
No. This is about rehabilitation for daily life.
It really is. We're sending the absolute best to Piper Niven. That sounds incredibly difficult.
A long road ahead for her.
Now let's look at the immediate future. We're on the road to WrestleMania 42. And in this business, timing is everything.
Getting hurt in September is bad. Getting hurt in February is a tragedy for your bank account and your legacy.
This is the will they, won't they list.
The anxiety list for the booking committee.
First up, Chelsea Green.
The queen of the Karen character. She's been doing the absolute best work of her career.
She really has. But there were reports floating around that she just had a bad bruise. You know, rub some dirt on it, get back in there.
Right.
But Cricket confirms, and this is via a post from Chelsea's own Chelsea Chronicle, that the bruise is actually a break.
And that is a huge blow. Here's why. A bruise, you can tape it up. You can work a safe match, maybe do more comedy, avoid the big bumps.
But a break.
A fracture. The medical team will not clear you. Period.
So it likely takes her right off the card.
And she had so much momentum. She was probably slotted for a showcase match, maybe even a title shot given how over she is. To go from that to watching from catering, that's just frustrating.
Speaking of frustrating, let's talk about the EST, Bianca Belair.
Bianca is WrestleMania. She's main evented. She's the face on the poster.
And the status is still not medically cleared to compete. That is the official word.
Which is a disaster for the promoters.
Right.
You build your marketing around her athleticism. If she can't go, you lose a pillar of the show.
But here's where it gets interesting. Cricket notes there's talk she might still appear.
But not in wrestling gear.
Right. A non-wrestling role. What do you make of that? Is it worth trotting her out there if she can't do the KOD?
I think it is. You need her star power. Maybe she hosts a segment. Maybe she's a special guest enforcer. It keeps her visible. It sells merchandise, and it keeps the crowd happy. But it's a clear signal she's not ready to take bumps yet. And it completely changes the women's title picture if she's on the sidelines.
True. And then there's the mystery of Roxanne Perez.
The ambiguity here is what drives the fans crazy.
She missed Raw in Cleveland this week. And the reason listed is just undisclosed illness or injury.
In this season, undisclosed is a scary word. If it was the flu, they'd just say illness. If it was a sprain, lower body injury.
Right.
Undisclosed makes you think of something more complicated. Concussion protocols, personal issues.
And the rumor mill just loves a vacuum.
Exactly. When the company goes quiet, the internet gets loud. Roxanne is a workhorse. For her to miss TV this close to the big show suggests something is really keeping her down.
So the women's division has taken a hit. Chelsea broken, Bianca grounded, Roxanne a mystery. But let's look at the men's side, because it's not much better over there.
It's a MAS unit across the board.
Let's start with Kevin Owens. KO.
The update on KO is, well, it's good news wrapped in bad news.
Unpack that for us.
The good news is his surgery is complete, and he's reportedly doing well. That's what you want to hear for the human being.
The bad news.
The timeline.
Cricket says he's not expected back until late 2026, or maybe even into 2027.
That is a long road. That's a full year, maybe more. We're talking about missing not just this WrestleMania, but potentially the build to the next one.
It feels empty without him. He's such a utility player.
He's the duct tape of the roster. If a segment isn't working, you send KO out there. Losing him for a year leaves a massive hole in your weekly programming.
Then there's Seth Rollins, the visionary.
Another cornerstone of the show.
Not medically cleared. But there is a glimmer of hope here. Cricket notes he's expected to head to the Performance Center soon.
Okay, so the trip to the PC, that's usually the final stress test. You go there to shake off the ring rust, take a few bumps in a controlled environment, and see if the body holds up.
It's the final exam before you get back on TV.
Exactly. But she also adds, not sure if Seth will return in what capacity.
And that's the key phrase, isn't it?
It is. Just because he passes the exam doesn't mean he's ready for a 30-minute classic.
Yeah.
He might be back for a tag match or a segment where he doesn't have to do much. But his return is crucial right now, especially because of the chaotic situation with Bron Breakker.
Okay, we have to talk about Bron Breakker. This story is, well, it's peak wrestling drama.
It really is.
So Bron is out with a hernia. That's the injury.
Painful. Very common in weightlifters, but very painful.
But the he said, she said on how it happened, that's where the comedy comes in.
Go on.
On one side, you have Paul Heyman, the wise man.
The master of the spin.
Heyman claims it happened during training. Very standard professional. He was pushing his body to the limit. He got hurt.
It protects the athlete's image. He works too hard. It's a good story.
Cricket notes that other sources, likely the boys in the locker room, are suggesting it happened when he flipped an announcer's table.
You can't write this stuff.
I mean, can we just picture that? We've all seen Bron Breakker. He is pure intensity.
All gas, no brakes.
The idea that he got a hernia flipping a table, presumably in a fit of rage, is kind of on brand, isn't it?
It is entirely plausible. Those tables are heavy. They've got monitors bolted to them, cables everywhere. If you flip one with bad form because you're trying to look like a monster,
Pop goes the hernia.
pop goes the hernia. It highlights the difference between the official line and the reality.
It does. Heyman wants to maintain the aura of the professional athlete.
But if the table flick story is true, well, that's a locker room legend in the making. Remember when Bron blew his gut out attacking the furniture?
Either way, a hernia is no joke. That recovery takes time.
It does. And with Bron out and Seth questionable, the main event scene for the men is looking incredibly thin.
It feels like a war of attrition.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
And just to drive that point home, we're going to move into what I'm calling the walking wounded. This is the surgery list. And honestly, it's less of a list and more of a scroll at this point.
Right.
I'm just going to run through these rapid fires, and I want your quick take on the impact.
Let's do it.
First up, J.D. McDonough. Had surgery, dealing with other issues, no return date.
This is critical because of the storyline. We're in the middle of the Judgment Day implodes arc. JD is the pest, the instigator. If he can't make it back for the climax at Mania, they might have to rewrite the ending.
Next, Sheamus. Shoulder surgery back in December 2025.
Shoulders are tricky. A December surgery usually means WrestleMania is a no-go. You're looking at 4 to 6 months minimum before you can take impact on that joint. We will not be seeing a banger from him this year.
Zoe Stark. Complete knee reconstruction.
Oof. Reconstruction is the word you never want to hear. That's a tear down and rebuild, likely an ACL. You're looking at 9 to 12 months, easy. She misses this Mania and probably SummerSlam.
Elton Prince.
Yeah.
Back fusion surgery in January.
Ick fusion. We're back to that serious spinal stuff. He's young, part of pretty deadly. This just halts their momentum completely.
Mitchin, shoulder injury, late December 2025, no return date.
Again, similar to Sheamus. The shoulder takes the brunt of so many impacts. Losing Mitchin just thins out the women's mid-card. You need solid workers like her.
And finally, one happy reason for an absence, Naomi.
Yes, maternity leave.
The only person on this entire list not dealing with a scalpel.
And that's the best kind of absence. It's a nice reminder that life happens alongside the career.
So we look at that list, JD, Sheamus, Zoe, Elton, Mitchin, plus the big names we talked about earlier, like KO, Biggie, Bron, potentially Seth and Bianca.
It's staggering. That's an entire pay-per-view card just sitting at home.
So what does this all mean? We are staring down the barrel of WrestleMania 42.
The main takeaway here is that the current landscape of wrestling is being defined as much by who isn't there as who is. We always focus on the match card, but right now, the ghost card, the matches we could have had, is almost stronger than what we're actually going to get.
That's a great term. The ghost card.
The ripple effect is real.
Yeah.
Because Zoe Stark is out, maybe a tag title match gets scrapped. Because Bron Breakker flipped a table, allegedly, the Intercontinental title picture changes. Every single injury forces a scramble. The creative team isn't just writing fiction, they're doing triage.
And that brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. We watch for the stories, right? We want the payoff. We want plan A. But here's something to chew on.
This raises a really important question about us, the audience.
Right. When a storyline has to pivot because of an injury, fans often reject the new plan. We get attached to what we thought we were getting. But in a world where the motto is the show must go on, how much patience should we have?
If the original stars are physically unable to perform, is it fair to hijack the show with chance for them? Or do we owe it to the performers who are healthy, who are stepping up to fill those gaps, to give Plan B a real chance?
It's a tough balance. We want our favorites, but sometimes biology has other plans.
Exactly. We have to respect the pivot.
Well, that is a lot to digest. A huge thank you to Cricket Fox and Outside the Ring for the detailed reporting. It sounds like it's going to be a chaotic road to WrestleMania 42.
It certainly is. Check out her blog if you want the full medical breakdown.
Stay safe out there, everyone. Watch your step. Take care of your neck. And maybe don't flip any announcer tables this week.
Please don't. Leave the furniture alone.
We'll see you next time on the Deep Dive.
And on that note, seriously, Bron, leave the tables to the stage crew. We're wrapping up today's look at the road to WrestleMania 42. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you're following the Fox 5263 Productions network on Apple and Spotify. You can find the full medical ward breakdown and all the injury x-rays over at Densport's Gamed blog. This has been an Outside the Ring production. Content is copyright Cricket Fox, 2012 through 2026. I also want to give a shout out to my AI production partners at Google, who helped me research the stats and polish the scripts for today's episode. I'm Cricket Fox. Keep your grit, watch your back, and I'll see you back here for our Olympic coverage on Friday.